So hello, today we're going to do the training for the spin coater. It's a very simple instrument, so it's just going to be a quick training. So I have my sample ready, and this is the instrument. We usually keep it connected to the vacuum and the vacuum on, but now I'm just checking to make sure that it's on. So the first thing we do is we turn on the power. Also, if it's not connected, you can always check the cables over here on the side. But since everything is connected, so we can just go ahead and put our sample. So to spin coat anything, first thing you do, you put your sample. You try to make it as centered as possible on the stage. And the first thing you can do is, usually I double press to turn on the vacuum. This means the sample is held more strongly by the vacuum here. And so there is a very simple programming. Each run has two stages. First is the low speed stage, and next is the high speed stage. The low speed stage, here you can control the RPM. This is 50, but it's times, so that means it's 500, the RPM, and the high speed setting is 300 times 10, that's 3000. So basically first we do the low speed and then the high speed, and this is the time setting. 10 is 10 seconds and 30 is 30 seconds. So this is our usual setting, but you can play with it by pressing these buttons to change these numbers based on whatever your needs are. So that's basically all of the controls here. Each one of these you can control each digit. Let me bring a pipette. So usually we use the small pipette. Usually for a 1 by 1 centimeter sample, usually we coat it with roughly 30 microns, but it depends on your recipe and your sample, what you want. So we have the pipette here. We have the pipette tips right here. So we can just put the tip over here. And then we can take any liquid that we choose. So since this is just a test run, I will try with just liquid. Just with water. So we have here our DI water bottle. So we can pretend this is our solution. And then with the pipette. Also the pipette is very simple. So you press to, basically you can take in the liquid. And when you empty it, you press the same amount, and then you press a little more to make sure that the line is clear. So you almost press twice. Press once, you take in the liquid. We can also put it on the surface of the sample. So that seems to be a good amount. You always have to close the top, and you must always be wearing eye protection, because if the sample flies, it can either get into your eye or spray some chemicals into your face. So you must close this one, and you must be wearing eye protection when you are using the instrument. And then you can just click once, and it will start the run. You can see this is the live speed setting, so this is 500, and this is the time remaining for that setting. And then we go into the high speed, so 3000, and this is the remaining time. So it's just spinning quickly. And now we are done. It will automatically stop the vacuum. For whatever reason, if you want to turn on the vacuum, it's 2 presses. If you want to start the run, it's 1 press. And then you can also press and hold to fully stop everything, even the vacuum. So since we are done with this step, normally it depends on your sample also, and it depends on what you're trying to do. But normally we would heat up this one, so it will be preheated. But since this is just water, it's not important. We heat up the hot plate. Depending also on your sample, you need to choose the right temperature for you. And then normally we just leave it here for a few minutes. Also, you can tune in that amount of time based on your sample. You leave it for a few minutes. Once it's dry, then you can be done and take out your sample. You can do whatever next step you want to do. So you can put it in the oven, or maybe this is enough for your needs, something like that. After you're done with your sample, you can put it in your sample box. And the pipette, the tip, you can simply press on this one to throw it in the trash, for the chemical trash only, because it will be contaminated with whatever solution that you have. And the other thing is that after each use, you must clean this spin coater. So it depends also on what chemicals you have, but normally I will take some of these chem wipes, and we can do cleaning with the appropriate solution. No, I don't recommend using acetone because it might damage any rubber or something inside here. But isopropanol or water are both reasonable cleaners. So here, this is the DI water. We can spray in a little bit around. Try not to get it into the opening because that will affect the vacuum. So you just spray around. You can also spray around the opening, but not into it. That's more than enough water to clean. So first we clean the top. And once all of the contaminant is gone, so if it doesn't dry, you can always do another, just change your chem wipes and use alcohol because it will dry faster than water. But in our case, I think it's sufficiently dry that we can just get rid of our napkin here in the chemical waste. And also, since your glove is probably contaminated, you can always replace it after you're done with the cleanup. And that's all. You can just close the lid, and we're done.